vinyl community, Dark Dove back with you again. Okay, this is going to be an update with a difference. If you have absolutely no interest in classical music, then you might want to switch off now. Otherwise, even if you're not, and if it's something you'd like to know more about, then feel free to keep watching, because this video is going to be dedicated entirely to classical. I did a classical update about 2 years ago. I felt it's high time to do another one, because I made some interesting finds lately, some charity shop finds of classical items, and wanted to show them, but felt that perhaps they wouldn't fit in with a regular vinyl update. So I decided to show those recent finds, and while I'm at it, I'll just show other various classical vinyl pieces which I've picked up over the last couple of years. Classical is, most of these finds were extremely cheap. I think the most I paid for anything that I've shown here was €5, and that would have been only 1 or 2 items. Vast majority of them cost between €1 to €2, €3. Some of them at €4, but I think possibly only 1 or 2 would have been 5. But anyway, 2 big finds which I made recently in 2 separate charity shops. Starting off with French court music of the 13th century, forgive my pronunciation, Musica Reservata, who I presume are a society who specialise in the study and performance of medieval music. So as the title says, this is French court music, 13th century, quite an interesting array of instruments. Something here called a crumb horn. It's on this label, which I'm not familiar with. Hadn't come across it before. Plus there's this very nice insert which actually has the lyrics. I presume this is medieval French, because it doesn't seem to resemble modern French, but I must say then my French is very rusty. Original price tag on here as well. The HMV shop. Yeah, very interesting and unusual item. From that haul as well is this by Sibelius, the Finnish composer, Finnish early 20th century composer. This is on CBS. CBS label there, and this, excuse me, this is actually conducted by Leonard Bernstein, whichever way you pronounce it. Always worth picking up items where Bernstein is conducting. Dr. Strange, you were mentioning in one of my videos some time back about I think his master's voice recordings. this here is one such recording. Berlitz also features Udi Moonheim. Always worth picking up items featuring him. So there we have Nipper. Very, very nice condition. Appears to be barely played. Love that cover art as well. One big factor in cover art is one factor when it comes to classical that can sometimes draw me to a record. Now this next one is not classical, but it's part of this. It was part of the same hall, so I'll show you anyway. It's a spoken word record. Dylan Thomas. I haven't yet had a chance to listen to this. Readings by Dylan Thomas. This is on Cape Mon, which specialise a lot in spoken word records. And now two very interesting box sets which I picked up. Sorry, first before I show those, I'll just show two more items, because this one features Max Reger, who was actually the subject of one of the box sets. So this is organ music. This is on a label called Eurodisc. So organ music by Bach. Also by Max Reger, who was early 20th century composer, very influenced by Bach, and also works by this man here, Werner Jacob. Now this item, I love the cover on this one. A funny feeling that Jack Stelios may have shown this one in one of his updates, but I don't know, it just looked very familiar, the cover. So this is Delius, and again another 20th century British composer. Sir John Barbarelli. Love this this one. I really like a composer I wasn't usually familiar with beforehand, but I really like this. And that's another variation on EMI. This is a later design, I think probably dating from the 70s. Okay, so on to those box sets. Again, this box set, 2-disc box set, featuring the work of Max Reger. And this is another label which is always worth looking out for, Telefunken, a German label, a very high quality label. This one I haven't played yet. Comes with this booklet. I'll just give you a look at the Telefunken. There we go again. Distinctive blue labels. Now the next box set, this I think personally was one of the best of my recent pickups, classical music wise. This is by Karl Orff, again another 20th century composer, German. This is a 1971 recording, again on Eurodisc. So this is Der Mond, which translates as the moon, and it's a modern opera which Karl Orff wrote in the 40s. I really want to show you the booklet which came with this, because this is really worth showing. So I'll just bear with me 2 seconds. There's a fantastic fold-out section in the middle of the booklet with these amazing illustrations. So it was only €2, and I mean it was definitely worth it just for that booklet alone, I think, with those amazing illustrations. Now another big haul which I made in a separate charity shop includes this, which is not in the best of condition. It's on Decca, Beethoven Piano Concerto, London Philharmonic Orchestra. It has a great cover, and I think it possibly dates from the 50s. There are a couple of scratches on it, but it's a great recording. It plays well enough. There's a few clicks here and there, but it's, you know, it doesn't sound too bad. Okay, Anthony Payne, who, as far as I'm aware, is still alive. This is a very, in classical terms, this is a very modern, dating only from 1969. When it was composed, and that is, if I can get it out, excuse me, Phoenix Mass, quite avant-garde, religious piece. It's on the BBC label, and BBC records are always worth grabbing because they're extremely good quality. And again, this is in really, really lovely condition. Looks barely played. And really love that laminated sleeve as well. Now, Deutsche Grammophon is one of the more regarded classical labels. German, as you can imagine. So here's Handel, and again Herbert von Karajan. Always worth grabbing records where he is the composer. Very highly regarded German composer. Or sorry, maybe he was Austrian. Not 100% sure. He was either Austrian or German. I'm not sure, but anyway. This is an early Deutsche Grammophon disc, because it's got the this tulip design along the edges. They had that design up to about the late 60s. So these tulip rimmed Deutsche Grammophon labels are always worth grabbing. HMV, his master's voice again. This particular, this dates from the early 60s, so it's Arthur Schnabel, was he Austrian Jewish pianist who had to flee the Nazis in the 1930s. This is a recording from the 30s. This particular record was released in the early 60s, and again a different variation on the HMV label. This comes with a booklet which an interesting touch, has this newspaper cutting as from an Irish paper, the Irish Times, a review of this particular recording. A bit of an unusual one, music from Mexico, several modern Mexican composers on, what is this label? Unicorn. I believe this is, I think this is a US label. Now this is another label which is always worth grabbing. Supraphon. It's a Czech label. This being Janáček, one of the foremost Czech composers. Show you the Supraphon logo there. The labels can come in different variations, but it is an exceptionally good label. 20th century English composers, Herbert Howells and George Dyson. This is a recording from the 80s by the Divertimenti. This quartet here. Okay, this again on Supraphon. This was €5. This was the most expensive item that I'm going to show you today. So another great Czech composer, Smamanta, and Ma Vlast, My Country. This is again another double box set, beautifully presented, probably from the 60s, I think. I'm not going to take the records out because it's a bit awkward and just kind of running on time. Now, these two items, again, I'll just show you the label. They're part of a 2-record set, and again we have that variation on his master's voice. Both of these appear unplayed. I haven't actually played them myself yet, but they're by these two Italian 18th century opera composers, Galuppi and Cimarosa. These are €1 each. I checked them on PopPsych, and another copy of these two records, of this record set, sold last year for over €70. So they're quite rare, and they're in virtually excellent condition. But I haven't actually listened to them yet. I'm not a huge, massive opera fan generally, but I did grab them because they're on that old EMI Nipper label, and they did look. I really did like the laminated, lovely laminated sleeve as well. What are we on now? 20 minutes. I'm going to go through the rest of the items kind of quickly. Virtually never come across Stockhausen in charity shops. This is the only instance when I did. 20th Century Music on the 20th Century Music 2 on the Open University label. Again, Philip Glass, the photographer. The only time I've ever come across him in a charity shop is this one, and this is actually a promo copy. So I'll just run through these very, very quickly. Just while I'm showing you these, last year I set up a Facebook page, Classical Music on Vinyl, which now has about 300 members. I was the sole administrator up until fairly recently, when I kind of took it back. I decided to take a bit of a break from it, so I set up a few extra admins. So I rarely look at it now, but it actually has a few VC members on it. Derek Higgins. He was actually the very first member that I added, and also Roger Coleman, and Armian is also on it as well. There we have another interesting one, Superfon again. Really love this one. Love the cover art, and again, this is one that I just got really for the cover more than anything else. Super fun again. Some more Czech composers. Deutsche Grammophon, von Karajan conducting again, with the Berlin Philharmonic. Philips label, always worth grabbing. This is a really unusual one. This guy plays Bach on the harmonica. John Sebastian, that is his actual name, plays Bach. And this is on CBS. This is a very unusual item. More Bach. Big fan of Bach. I have a lot of Bach in my collection. This is on Ace of Diamonds. Stravinsky. I don't have enough Stravinsky. One of my favourite composers. This is on Superfon. This one, not in great condition. Aaron Copland, Billy the Kid and Appalachian Spring. It's on Westminster. Not in great condition. It doesn't play very well, but it has a great cover. This is a pretty unusual one. Domenico Scarlatti. This is sonatas for harpsichord, played by this guy Gilbert Roland. Just quickly show you the label because it's kind of an unusual one. Yeah, this is a great recording. This is on EMI. Fantastic record. Dvorak's cello concerto and Saint-Saëns cello concertos are always I always go for them if I see them going cheap. Edie Moonhine again, and Sir William Walton, English composer. Again, this is on EMI. EMI is really one of the top labels. This is an unusual one. Canzone. Some composers who I am not really familiar with, all Scandinavian. Edie Moonhine again. Again on EMI. Always worth grabbing anything with Daniel Barenboim on it. The Argentine-born pianist. This is on EMI. Okay. Okay. I'll just show two more. I have loads of stuff that I was going to show, but this video is running a bit long. This is a more modern Deutsche Grammophon release, and it's got this fantastic mirrored sleeve with this Klimt painting there. This is Beethoven, and this is from the 80s, so not from the Tulip period, but couldn't leave it behind with this fantastic sleeve. And this is a really unusual label which I'd never come across before. Tchaikovsky Symphony Number 4. Love that artwork. And just show you the label. I think this is an American label. Not much info about it online. Okay, so now we're nearly at half an hour. I'm going to leave it at that. Apologies for kind of rushing through everything. I did mean to show a lot more stuff, but I think the video was kind of run on a bit longer than I kind of intended. So I'll be back to the more regular stuff on my next update. So thanks very much for watching, and everybody have a great weekend.